Fast forward, Mamina was say Emma Kwaba Embra Johnny so AGH Politics Avenue. Unia podcast or training because make headlines. Ena ya jemre na EDB exomo ewaha ni di mia hurakse muse ene EDB kanya stress with my subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell no so share na afofron so answer into me enkebi. Emi sure when you say or yensa edi amami. Ya na will leave you comment constructively under the comment section for edi amami. Na eni di ma mami emfa wo enra ya political habits. Eja edema enya sempoto akra. Na eye OSP ko KSM show so a enya sempoto akra. Na oche bibi se dinti a ema ken ofori ata emra oko eye amanone no omu entimi anstop no na ejina so se omu ene ewo sa time no no mu abema onua se oka se o stop ken ofori ata se o tukanya eno enya dia omampanyin a na otiso obepene because na oyen twetwumtwu no ofa se a enye asemkoto akra na lawyer Martin Kpebu and so a breaking silence on this issue. What should I say? Na sata mana papan okono. I didn't see one major press conference and to me and country a man say can offer ata a 2 point. Na and I'm say we need back in beer our office in Tino. Oka say o manin kwa o man penino and tiasi. And now what try say obestopeno o mampanyin no antiase we nyina wantimi anye na ena enoma agency mu ena wo defensive mechanism bi e de etwetwa ade agye wo osiensem na wo kan de enya ade a hold water ususuja edigu ni chema onya enya asem koto akra at this point in time mestre say mo ransem ni na enhwe ne yeko ene de ba AGH politics
always work together with Attorney General. Attorney General in turn should hold our hands. We are working for one republic, one Ghana. The main perpetrator from our standpoint, the main perpetrator had no intention of returning back to the country. Of course, he had left the country earlier in the year during the transition. Now we should place this in proper context because we've attracted some flag that why did we allow him to go? Mr. Misa. He left before 7 January. Between 1st, I know there's that date, but I'm not going to mention it. All I'm saying is between 1st and 6th January, he had left. Who was in power during those few days? And we don't control the airports. We don't control the exit. The OSP doesn't control the exit points. But we are taking flag day in and day out. Why did we allow him? Let me put it this way. His cousin was president. Let's face facts.
Yeah.
Before John Dramani Mahama was sworn in on 7 January, Nana Akuffo was the president.
Yeah.
That was his cousin. He had kept him in the office for more than 7 years. I'm saying when he left, the president was Nana Addo Akuffo.
Okay.
At the time he left, we were not getting the cooperation at the time from other security agencies.
You weren't getting any cooperation?
No, we're not.
You had asked for them?
Oh, we asked for all that, but we were not. It was as if there was a policy of block the OSP out. That was what we were facing, and that was the circumstances under which we were being expected to perform. I think I've complained about these things over national security. No, at the time. The situation is different now. National Signals Bureau, no, at the time. The situation is different now. National Intelligence Bureau, 0. At the time, the situation is different now. I mean, the security setup was stacked up against the OSP, so we will not be able to perform our job. This was the situation in which we found ourselves. And I'm being asked how I let Ken Oforiatta through this.
For him to...
No, we didn't watch him leave. We were powerless. That is the truth. We were powerless. We saw him leave, but we couldn't prevent him from leaving at the airport because we couldn't. Now we can rely on the Ghana Immigration Service to block someone. Now we can rely on national security.
Before then, you couldn't.
To block someone. Then, and at the time he left, you call up immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. You write to immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. And I'm saying this unabashedly. That was the situation we found ourselves in. Once again, before we put him on the Interpol red notice, we know he left the state on 1 or 2 occasions, but we believe he's in the state, and we know the area in which he lives. The person lives in the United States. Office of the Special Prosecutor, even the Ghana Army. We can't just go into the US, spring him up and bring him. That is what Ghanaians need to understand.
Yeah, and
we
that is
are going through a certain very tedious extradition process to bring him back. That's why I said. That's why I was joking about it. That if he lived in Agbogba, I would have. He'll be with us as we are speaking. But since he is in a foreign country, I cannot put a date on it. And even then, the central authority in respect of extradition matters in the US could decide one thing. The President of the United States can step on it and block it and say no. You get it? So far as he is in the United States of America, we cannot put a date on it that we are bringing him today, we are bringing him tomorrow.
So that's Kpebu, the special prosecutor, in that interview with KSM on the KSM show, as Kwekunsi Tim Nessa. Now, you heard him touch on a number of things, including shutting off that criticism that, look, he looked on and then allowed Ken Ofori-Atta to leave the jurisdiction after the 2024 elections. Well, one of the known critics of the OSP on this particular point is Martin Kpebu. Is a private legal practitioner joining us on Zoom right now. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Clearly, the special prosecutor responding to, not just you, but others who hold the view that, look, he should be responsible for allowing, or to be held responsible for allowing Ken Ofori-Atta to leave the jurisdiction after the 2024 elections. He says that's unfair for you to criticize him because, one, between January 1 and January 6, when he left, his cousin, President Akuffo, was the president, and he indirectly sought to make the point that Ken Ofori-Atta enjoyed some presidential support in getting out of the jurisdiction because immigration wasn't minding him. He felt alone, as is always said, that Ankonam thing. So why do you criticize him for it?
Yes, Mr. Okanse, I heard that part, but let's verify this. I thought I saw another part of the statement where he's quoted to have said that they saw him leave, but they had no power to stop him. They knew. They were asking for help. You call immigration, they will not help you. Do we agree these are all statements from him?
Yes, he did say that indeed they saw him leave, but they were powerless. The office was powerless because of the lack of interagency support that hindered efforts to block Ken Ofori-Atta from exiting the jurisdiction, despite the active efforts to place travel restrictions on him. Yes, he did say that.
Yes, and I'm just interested in one fact. As lawyers, the way we analyze, he said they saw him leave. There's a statement like that. They knew he was about to leave. They saw him leave. Look, that finishes this case for me. They saw him leave. I'm paraphrasing it. I wish maybe you can read the exact statement. It's the end of the matter. So you knew he was going to leave, and then you said you were calling immigration, nobody will pick up, etc. What happens to informing the citizens? The citizens have oversight over all of these state bodies, including OSP. This interview we are conducting, Mr. Okanse, we are exercising our oversight. So there is citizens' oversight over all the public institutions. So in other words, citizens have a right to hold public institutions accountable. So why was he keeping it secret? That's why you see last week I said that there was some collusion. That is a collusion. You are aware Ofori-Atta is about to leave, you are making efforts and nobody is minding you, and you will not inform the citizenry. I told you, look, human beings, we are spirits. The reason I could see that he was a first-class student, first class. So I was like, but this guy is supposed to be very sharp, and these little things are beating him. It doesn't add up. So you see, on Saturday, I said there's suspicion of collusion. That is the collusion I'm talking about. He saw Oforiatta was about to leave. He was contacting institutions which are weak. Who doesn't know that all these institutions were weak? Who doesn't know that Akuffo had, kind of weakened state institutions? So you go to the people in whom sovereignty resides. That's Article 1 of the Constitution. And then also you go to the preamble of the Constitution. Then you go to Article 125. Look, many other parts of the Constitution says that the sovereignty is...
Hello, Council. Unfortunate, we lost that connection to Kpebu. We'll try to reconnect with him shortly because he was making a point, on that point about his view that Kpebu should resign because in his view, what he has said cannot suffice as explanation to why Oforiatta left the jurisdiction. Council is back. Council, if you could move away from the light where you are into another location, that would help me because we seem to be losing the clarity of your image. So if you could move away a bit for me, yes, that's perfect. Stay with me there. But you're on the view that Kpebu should resign. He has clearly articulated the challenges that he's faced with in that office, at least prior to this period. Reason why he couldn't stop Oforiatta from leaving the jurisdiction. With all of that, you still hold the view that he must go?
Yes. Kpebu can't win my trust again. It's done. It's not possible. I can't. This is so elementary, very elementary. I don't know. I can't repeat it enough. That, you see, the rules of engagement are that we have civic oversight over public institutions. That's how come we have elections. Those days, they will say, wait till the next election and then decide. But we've gone past that. So now it's a daily affair, a daily civic oversight. That's how come we do radio programs and take on public institutions. This institution didn't do well. You remember the Rich Hospital thing? Name them. So Kpebu had no business sitting on the frustrations. This one specific. What it tells me is that he didn't do the right assessment. He actually hasn't been able to appreciate the enormity of the mistake he made in keeping quiet over such a matter. No. Like I said, Martin Amidu's son, you see when the Akuffo interfered, Martin Amidu came out. Our only fault with Martin Amidu is with his resignation. He shouldn't have gone. But the right thing, when the pressure was too much, it was good that he came out. Now, Kpebu's own, it's not good at all. That's why, you see, on Saturday, I told you that I have a suspicion of collusion. That's exactly what he did. He was aware, but he said public institutions were not cooperating. And so he kept quiet. When he was required to bring it to the attention of the populace, the sovereignty is enough. Sovereignty doesn't reside in the president. So it's no answer to say that his brother, he said cousin. I choose to use the word brother. Oforiatta is Akuffo's brother. In Twi, there is no word for cousin. Local, in a lot of local languages, we don't use cousin. Oforiatta is Akuffo's brother. So you knew it and said because his brother is president. It's it beggars belief. To be very honest with you, I can't believe that's a Kpebu I've known all these years. That he's so timid, extremely timid, and he wants to be.
I see, but he says,
counsel,
he says that for him as a special prosecutor, One, he doesn't control the airways or the airspace, for that matter, and yet you're having to get him to take the flag for this. And if you're saying that he should have addressed a press conference, put out these challenges that he was facing to get Oforiatta stay in the jurisdiction, even after the elections, what could have changed if he had addressed the press conference, putting out the challenges? What would have been a different outcome?
Yes, then we'll then press on with the civic oversight. It's for us, the citizens, to now do whatever it is within our power as the sovereign. The citizens are sovereign, as stated in the preamble to the Constitution, as stated in Article 1 of the Constitution, as stated in Article 125, and so on and so forth. So then we would have used our powers to see what we'll do. So this non-disclosure, trust me, Mr. Okai said, there's no way. If I meant to say they are doing today and for the rest of my life, trust me. No, I can't trust him. I can't trust him again. And to be the same, if me, you know how I'm slow to come to such decisions. I've known Kisi for about 20 years, from undergrad days up to today. No, I was in the same hall with him, Akuffo hall. So many things I can't recount. So you see, I've supported him when I need to support him. But this misjudgment is so basic that now I've lost trust. You know, this is not the only one. Matter of fact, this is the icing on the cake. You know, when the aura started, we got information and it showed that the way the office was running, it was a one-man show. There are other things we've heard, but for me, this is the last straw. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. So Kisi can't do this job. They can't. You can't come out and call out whoever was preventing you and then tell the people of Ghana, I have information, Oforiatta is about to flee. I'm asking for help. Nobody is minding you. Just these two sentences. Do you know what it does to the office? And he didn't appreciate it. He just wants longevity. Now, here is a case we are having challenges bringing back Oforiatta. This has damaged the office beyond repair. Look, tonight, as soon as this story ends, I expect that latest tomorrow morning.
I see, but Council, let me bring in Adam Senano, also an anti-corruption crusader on this, because he's also been interfacing with this Office of Special Prosecutor in a number of ways, many times as well. So, Council, stay with me. Senano, good evening. Thank you for joining us on Ghana Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is Lawyer Martin Kpebu's verdict because of the OSP's own statement that, look, well, I can't take the flag for Kenneth Oforiatta leaving this jurisdiction after the elections because I know when he left, between January 1 and January 6. In fact, we even knew when he was leaving. But then because we didn't have the cooperation of the other agencies, we couldn't get him. Martin Kpebu says, look, if that was the case, why keep it for all this while, almost 10 months on, and you're telling us now when the horse has already bolted? So he thinks that, look, it's time for Kpebu to go. You've worked with the office. You've worked with the person. You align with that verdict? Unfortunately, we lost Adam Senano there. We'll try to get him back on Zoom to answer this question for me on it. But Martin Kpebu is still with me. Counsel, it was as if, in his view, according to the special prosecutor, what we just played, he indicated that even though he was trying to get him not to leave their jurisdiction, other agencies, like he mentioned the National Intelligence Bureau, the National Security, National Signals Bureau, Immigration, were all just there watching him, not giving him the cooperation. That's why he could do little in not getting Kenneth Oforiatta to leave the country. That does not suffice for you?
Yes, and so you come to the people who will the ultimate power. That if you
We and some who team cause or channel so. I'm not so jimre or the senator body in the doom. The essential near some give. A GH politics.